26 inmates, and you're seeing them right there at Sing Sing State Prison in Ossining, have something actually to be proud of today, a brighter future. They donned caps and gowns Wednesday night and walked across the stage to receive their earned college degrees. The same college course load, the same expectations, the same grading that a regular student would have had at that four-year undergraduate college. But they did their study inside a cell. They did it while there was lockdowns here. They did it in cell blocks where if something went wrong unrelated to them, they would have lost privileges and literally not been a part of the program. So all the things about regular prison life, but yet going to college at the same time. They legitimately earned the degrees that they received last night from Mercy College. And it was through, again, a program called Hudson Link for Higher Education. Private, nonprofit thing that means no tax dollars, and it offers college courses to the inmates. The commencement ceremony also has gotten the attention over the years of people both in the arts and national figures. The Buffetts have been involved. You had Malcolm, you had the Forbes family that was involved at one. So it's not just on the left, you have on the right too, because this is a program that actually delivers returns. Just like any investment here, you look at the bottom line, and this program has paid off by any measurement. And this year, it got the attention of actress, TV talk show host Whoopi Goldberg, and also legendary actor and performer Harry Belafonte, who both attended the event. And I bring Dominic back in here because you got a chance to talk to both of them afterwards. And it wasn't just the kumbaya moment. You're asking about some of the hard questions we had early this year when New York State, on the legislative level, after the governor said he'd be behind the program putting funding into it, the thing died down because of all the same questions, legitimate questions, that have come up about this before.
Well, Richard, I say this as objectively as possible. Hudson Link, the program that runs this, it's an excellent initiative. But there are some of you watching right now that raise the question of whether prison inmates should be able to obtain a college education. Now, although the money in this case by Hudson Link is privately raised, and although the program is so successful that only a handful of the college graduates have ever returned to prison, now saving taxpayers millions, we sat down and put the tough questions to Whoopi Goldberg and Harry Belafonte. Whoopi Goldberg, we're used to seeing you in the movies, we're used to seeing you on The View, and now you're here locked up with the rest of us at Sing Sing. Why are you here today?
Because I pissed somebody off. No. Because there's a wonderful program that's happening here, and young men who came in thinking one way are leaving totally differently. Because they're graduating from college, something I'm sure a lot of folks never thought they would actually say they were going to do. So I'm giving the commencement speech. I don't know why it's me, because, you know, my little crazy self, I never went to college. But to watch these guys realize that there is something for them out there is a great thing. And so I'm just happy to be here to support and to make this, you know, speech.
Whoopi Goldberg, you know that you're a huge celebrity.
You know, you keep calling me by my full name. You can just call me Whoopi.
Okay, Whoopi. Yeah. You know that you're a full celebrity. A lot of people pay attention to what you have to say. So I want to put this question to you. There are a lot of people watching us right now that say these guys had their shot in life, they're doing their time for bad things, and that this is a waste of taxpayer dollars.
You know what, there's a lot of stuff that wastes taxpayer dollars, but if this is what I'm going to spend my money on, I'm happy about it. You know, education is never a bad thing in this country, where we become, you know, kind of dumber. We don't know our history. And I'm not talking about black people, I'm talking about Americans don't know American history. It's not taught in school, you know. If you can get education in someone who made poor choices in the beginning, but is at a place where great choices can be made and pay off, this is only good for us in the Americas. This is good for us in the United States. Anytime we can spit out an educated person, I'm all for it.
Mr. Belafonte, this is not the first graduation I've seen you at. Why is this so important to you, and why do you keep coming back?
I keep coming back because I think the program here at Sing Sing is a very, very positive program. And we talk a lot about what happens when young men and young women get into the lockup. They're forgotten by the bigger society. But I think inside Sing Sing and this institution, and with Mercy College, we're making a big difference in how inmates begin to look at themselves. And I keep coming back to not only make sure the program's going well, but to learn from the guys in the lockup and from the college and everybody else, is there a way we can do it better, and what can I do to help?
Mr. Belafonte, we asked this of Whoopi Goldberg. You know what the critics say. They feel that this is throwing good money after bad, and that they wonder, are these really the individuals that should have this type of opportunity? To that, you say what?
I say every living creature deserves an opportunity to live, and to live in an environment and a space that's filled with decency and compassion. I don't think one should question whether these men and women in the lockup have any rights, should not be treated with a certain sense of embrace and love and care. These are our children. Some of them are our fathers. Some of them are our husbands and daughters. Why shouldn't they be paid attention to? Perhaps if we paid attention to them on the outside, they wouldn't be here now. But I reject anybody that suggests that these programs are throwing good money after bad, or that somehow the process is flawed. Until you find a better game, don't knock ours.
Now, Richard, to possible critics, I say this: get your name on the list and have an open mind and just attend one graduation, just one, and see if you still feel the same way. But I want to go back to your original point, Richard, about, and because we do, whether you like this program or not, you have to tip your hat to these guys for obtaining their education behind bars. It's loud, it's noisy. This is something Whoopi Goldberg made a point. And safety is really an issue. The moment that you arrive at Sing Sing in Ossining, you know you're there. You know because you've been there before. We had to take off our belts, take off our shoes, take off our jackets, go through a metal detector, pass through several screening areas, and they bent the rules a little bit. I had to give them my cell phone. They bent the rules a little bit for me. Because I'm a journalist, they allowed me to bring a pen in to write. Normally, you can't even bring a pen into this maximum security prison.
Earlier this year, we've talked about this in the show, but Governor Cuomo said, you know what, let's put some funding behind this. Not a lot of funding, but in effect, make them eligible for like Pell Grants, which, as people know who've gotten that or TAP money, it helps especially low-income folks here at least get some money they can apply towards an education. All of a sudden, hue and cry, soft on crime, and all the rest. If you take completely out of the equation whether or not you believe in redemption and it's worth it or not, 99-point-something% of the guys who've gotten out don't go back in. The rate of recidivism is almost 0%. On the flip side, for those who don't get a degree, half of them go back in.
Within a couple of years.
You said it yourself, 60 grand a pop just to house these guys every year. Forget about the cost of the crime that they put on society here, the trial, all the other stuff. So just from a dollars and cents standpoint, we save money doing this. But the stories you hear, forget even the families you talked about, guys that could transfer to medium or low security facilities here, much safer and easier places, will stay at a maximum security facility because they can't get a degree at the other place. I'm telling you, if you think you throw good money after bad, that they're not worth it, remember, 19 out of 20 inmates are gonna come home. So they're gonna come back. The question is, what do we wanna come back as? I now believe there is such a thing as redemption, but even if you don't believe it, just think, what do you want them to come back as? And you want to keep spending your money to keep sending them back to this place. I hope after this election the issue will come back again, but hopefully at least the public can put a human face here on the debate that when it does. Dominic, thank you very much. Okay, speaking of New York, when we come back, we're going to leave the prison system and in fact get into New York State politics. Save the joke there that they're one and the same. Okay, after much debate, Governor Cuomo He gains the support of the Working Families Party. However, what happened behind the scenes has got a lot of people angry on the left and on the right here. A lot of people say that deal, that backdoor deal with the mayor, well, it's got some folks saying that they sold some folks down the river to get it done. We'll talk about that after this.